Hey y'all, welcome back to the Roads Less Traveled. On today's episode, I'm going to be talking about my new APA Black Mamba Pro compound bow. Alright y'all, so this is APA's Black Mamba Pro compound bow. I actually, for a couple years ago, did not even realize that APA existed. And ever since I first seen these bows, I've been pretty much just fascinated with them. These bows have some of the most awesome and crazy features that I just feel like are perfect for myself. We'll kind of briefly go over some of those features. First off, it has this fang hook on the front that's actually used to hang the bow. Now, I don't know about y'all, but for me out there mobile hunting where I'm walking, miles through timber, a lot of times I need to take a rest and set my bow down for a second, so I can use both my hands. And I don't always want to sit my bow on the ground. So a lot of times I'll try to look and find me a tree that has a stick hanging off so I can hang it on the limb, right? Well, it's really hard to find a tree with a broken off limb about that long or a little bit longer so you can slide your bow over. But this fang hook is taking care of that. You can walk up to any limb and just hook it and hang it. Another thing this bow has that I find just amazing, I don't know why other bow companies have never thought of this or done it, is it has this little tool center here. And this tool center has several different features, and I'll just go over them real quick. It has a knife sharpener. It actually has a knock adjustment tool, a broadhead tuner, and then most importantly, in my opinion, this little knob, if you loosen that up, you can pull out this little piece here. Now, this little piece here is absolutely amazing, okay? So what it does, if you look at the bow, on the cams there are these holes. Well, what this allows you to do is you can actually press your bow at home and change strings, move knocks. So what I just did there is I pulled a cable, pressed it, stuck that pin in. Now my strings are loose. I could take this string off, put a twist in it, adjust it, or completely replace it without having to have a bow press. That is probably the most critical thing on this bow that I've wanted, because I'm a DIY guy. I like being able to tinker on my stuff. I like being able to work on it without having to go to a bow shop or without having to bow press. I haven't necessarily wanted to spend the money on a bow press. And part of that is because I don't really have a great space to set up to work on my bows. As you can see today, I'm out here in my shed and it's a mess. I mean, this is not ideal, but it's what I have to work with. And I still want to be able to tinker with my bows and not have to rely on a bow shop. So that right there allows me to change out my own strings, make any sort of twist adjustment, adjust my knocks, or my peep, or any of that stuff on my own. This little tool here isn't only for pressing your bow and adjusting the strings. It also serves another purpose. It actually slides into your side of your riser here. Make sure I got that in right. There's actually instructions on there. So it slides in the riser like this. It bottoms out, and it actually has markings on this thing to set your center shot when you're setting your rest up. So at any point in time, if you're out in the field and you think your rest may be off and you want to check your center shot, you can pull this thing out, stick it in there, and see if your arrow is aligned appropriately. This bow also has other features, like it has this grooved spot here that allows you to quickly check and see if your arrow height is right. It has marks on the sides of the cam right there that you line up with your cables to get your timing right. Additionally, it has this micro tune adjustment deal here that allows you to adjust your timing very easily. I think this bow is the ultimate DIY person's bow. You can do everything you need to quickly and easily without having to rely on a bow shop. Now let's talk about where I got this bow for a second. So this is actually last year's model. This is a 2024 bow model. And the only difference is the 2025s, they came out with the shift tune on their new bows that allows you to actually move this yoke over. But this 2024 bow I actually purchased off eBay from a bow dealer. So this is a brand new bow. I bought it from an archery dealer. You know, it may have been shot in their shop a few times or whatnot, but it has never been hunted with. And I got this bow for less than half of the retail price, okay? Which is huge for me, because I've been looking for one of these for a long time, and really the price is just more than I could justify. So finding this bow, that's just a previous year model that still, you know, has all the features of the new ones except for that shift tune, which, you know, would be nice, but it's okay, not the end of the world. Allowed me to save a lot of money, and then I invested that in the parts. So ultimately, guys, I want this video to be about how you, as a DIY guy, can purchase one of these bows and do everything you need to without having to rely on a bow shop, okay? And I want to know, I am not an expert. A lot of this stuff I kind of figure out as I go. I watch YouTube videos and I just do it. But really, I want this bow to be about how I'm going to set this bow up by myself, get it tuned, and hunt with it. So that being said, let's take a look at some of the goodies I got in the box here and what we're going to be putting on this bow. First off, this is the QAD Ultra Rest Integrate. It's not their top of the line rest. I think that's the MX2. This is the R2, but essentially it's the same rest. It allows you to do the same thing, and the big thing I wanted to use is take advantage of this Integrate dovetail mount on the back of the bow. I just think it makes it so much more streamlined and everything. So that's that. I got a Spot Hog Fast Eddy XL. This is just it's a 2-pin sight, but I just feel like it's a tried and true bow sight that's not going to let me down. And here we got some peep tying thread and a peep. And finally, I got a stabilizer, and this is the mule stabilizer, which I've been kind of fascinated with those for a little while. All right, so let's go ahead and get our arrow rest on first. Like I said, guys, I want to reiterate, I am not an expert, okay? You should definitely do your own research if you're going to work on your own bow. Go to a credible source and make sure you're doing this stuff right. This QAD arrow rest actually comes with a pocket knife, some of that silencing stuff, and all the hardware you need to install it. It also comes with a setup instructions DVD and a quick start guide here. I've watched enough videos and have enough experience with these rests. I'm not going to watch the video or anything. We're just going to get it on there. So first things first, I've loosened up the dovetail attachment deal here, and I just want to get that on the bow kind of loose. Oops, not drop it. So this rest, you're supposed to be able to easily move up and down by just loosening this deal. And it's got like a spring keeper in there that allows you to make micro adjustments up and down, and you just lock it in when you're ready. Alright, so I'm going to grab an arrow, and we're going to use our pin to set our center shot and our rest height and all that stuff. So let me grab that real quick. Alright, I've got my arrow on here, and one thing with these quick QAD rests, you know, you want to make sure that when you're setting your arrow height and everything, it's in the full all the way up launcher position, because that's where it's going to be when you draw your bow back. And we'll set that up here in just a minute. I just want to get the rest kind of close. So if you look on the side of the bow here, there's this little channel. It's machined in the side of the riser, and you want to look at your arrow and it match up perfectly with that little channel. So I need to go down a little bit and loosen it up. Slide it down a little bit more. Go up by here. pretty happy with that for now. Like I said, we'll probably make some adjustments whenever we get to actually tuning the bow. It looks pretty good to me. Be careful not to over tighten it. Okay. Next step, we're going to pull out our pin and check our center shot. And again, this is just to kind of get you close. So I'm going to stick that in the riser there. And it looks like we need to bring our rest quite a bit to the right. To do that, we just want to loosen up this little screw here on our launcher arm. Just a little. That should allow us to slide it. There we go. And it does have kind of a resistance slide, so you don't have to worry about going crazy with it. So let's go in just a little bit. We get that lined up. That right there looks pretty good. Just tighten that back up. Okay, so now what we've done very quickly and easily is we've got this bow close to as spec tuned as we can, and whenever we get it set up, we're ready to start shooting it, and then we'll paper tune it and make our final adjustments. So the next thing I need to do is I need to put my launcher arm string, attach it to the bow, and get that all set up. There's a little knife the arrow rest comes with. Pretty nice, actually. Pretty sharp. I'll stick that somewhere, bow case or something, so I have it. Okay, so this QAD arrow rest comes with this little, I don't know, this little plastic block that you use to attach the timing or the pull cord with. In the past bows I've had, the string has just been, you know, into the cable tightened up, but today I'm just going to roughly put this on there. I may, or just use this block. I might tie it into the cable later, but for now I'm just going to do this. I need a Phillips screwdriver. Okay, so the trick with installing this cable here is you want to tighten this thing up so it's just tight enough that when you draw the bow back, it's going to hold the launcher arm so that those lines are aligned perfectly, and then you can tighten it up the rest of the way. So I've gotten it tightened down a little bit so it just slips. Probably need to go a little bit tighter than that. Okay. Let's put a arrow in it and a rest, and let's draw it back and see how we're looking. Alright, I've got my release on and the arrow. Just step over and draw it back. That there's not quite tight enough. Alright y'all, my camera shut off there for a second, but after fiddling with a little bit, I got my arrow rest cable just the way I want it. The key is just take your time and be patient and make sure you get it just perfect. Alright, we'll move on to the next thing. Next up, I'm going to go ahead and get my spot hog on. And I went with the dovetail mount on this one. Alright, starting to look like a bow. I'll go ahead and throw my stabilizer on there and see how that's going to work out. Alright, that's looking pretty sweet, man. Okay, so the only thing I have left to do at this point is I need to put my peep in, but it's getting pretty dark out here and it's about to rain, so I'm going to take a break and then probably go ahead and get my peep put in the house, and we'll come back out here after a while and shoot this thing. All right, y'all, so I got my peep tied in. I don't know, I didn't run through that, but honestly guys, there's so many good peep time videos out there. Just Google it, pick whatever method you want. This bow is it's a pretty aggressive bow. I'm not going to try to remember all the specs offhand, but I'll throw them up. It's pretty fast. It's only got 80% let off, pretty aggressive cams. It shoots pretty fast and pretty hard. Let's try our first shot here. Pretty aggressive, but it's not bad to hold. Make a little adjustment. I'm shooting these are Black Eagle Rampage arrows, and I spined up from what I usually shoot 300 spine to 250 spine just because how aggressive this bow is. I've always kind of had some problems with the 300 spine, 70 pounds with the 29-inch draw length. Probably should have went to 250 a while back. But with this bow being so aggressive, I went ahead and went to 250 spine. I'm no expert on, you know, how a bow should feel and all that stuff. I'm not going to try to be. Woo, shoot. I'm going to mess up my new arrows. Maybe I should aim somewhere else. Move my target so I got more dots to shoot at. One thing I'm not really spending a lot of time on yet, at least, is getting this bow perfectly tuned. I got plenty of time to do that right now. I'm just wanting to kind of get a good feel for it. One thing we should probably look at is our cam timing. So you draw back, maybe just ease off. It looks, both cams are pretty much trying to go at the same time. So I think our timing is pretty good, which is also what our timing marks on our cams indicate. So assuming timing is good, probably need to shoot it through some paper. I'll do that at some point. Maybe bare shaft tuning, I don't know. But I gotta say, it's a shooter, man. I'm stacking these things on top of each other. Now I'm only at 10 yards. All right, y'all, there you go. That's my new APA Black Mamba Pro compound bow. It's set up and it's ready to shoot, all without visiting an archery shop. From a guy who is not a pro. I'm trying to learn and get better at some of this stuff. Now that I got a bow, I don't have to have a press to work on. I can tinker a little bit. And I think it's going to make me a better archer. If any of y'all have been on the fence about this bow, hopefully this helps you out. I'm a big fan of it. I can't wait to do some more shooting, shoot it through some paper, get it tuned up, and really see what I can do when I get used to it. I'll probably have some more videos on tuning and just shooting it. If y'all want to see that kind of stuff, leave me a comment. I appreciate y'all watching. Hope y'all have a blessed day. And like always, remember, take the roads less traveled.